Let's now go to the projects you have mentioned, because there are 7 important ones that you reported to the board the last time we met. Maybe it should come from you what those are. What I remember, what stood out to me was that road that went directly from the highway to the airport. Maybe you can start there. Why is that important? What's the significance of that?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll couch this in a manner where it's going to be easier to understand.
Sure.
So there are 7 flagship projects, and those 7 projects are divided into 2. There are PPP projects. We have three PPP projects. There are 4 infrastructure projects, which can be funded solely by CIAC and the national government. So I'll first deal with the PPP projects. So there are 3. The first one is the National Food Terminal Project.
Okay.
We all know that the the top priority of the president is food sustainability and
food security. Yeah.
Right. So that National Food Terminal Project is envisioned to become a warehousing, a processing of fresh food, commodities that are available in Central Luzon and northern parts of the Philippines. So what we see there is, a farmer's market.
Okay.
Where we can aggregate all the harvests.
Right. Something similar perhaps to FTI before?
Yes. Very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, very similar. The FTI has already been converted
to land development.
Land development.
Yeah.
And even if they have a remaining portion of that land that they used to own, they cannot expand or convert anymore. Right. And it's not even the highest and best use. Right. So it's very perfect that we don't have that.
We don't have one. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have one.
Yeah.
And there are many different food aggregation facilities that the Department of Agriculture is setting up elsewhere in the Philippines. Yeah. But we don't have that central aggregation of all this produce. Right. So the intention for us is to help these farmers, these livestock growers, to be able to have to make themselves more competitive. Okay. So that's the real intent. All right. But among others, it's also about lessening food spoilage, food spillage, spoilage, because the intention of that food terminal is to have warehousing. Okay. Yeah, better warehousing and cold chain processing for wet or easily perishable products. Right. And another thing that's very important for us is that for us to compete, not just in our different cities in the Philippines, but in Southeast Asia at least, is to have that packaging services. Right. Packaging services where we could somehow increase the value of our commodities. Not just simply about, I'm just trying to make it easy to understand, but sure. Packaging services means that there's higher quality. Right. Higher quality, cleanliness, of the commodities that we have. Right. So that food terminal is somehow a showcase of how it should be done. Okay. And our farmers, our livestock growers deserve support from the government. It's not an answer to the problems of agriculture or aquaculture in the Philippines. Okay. It's just part of the value chain. Right. Yet which is the promise of President Marcos, really to look at the entire value chain of agriculture, right? And and Clark is in a perfect site to have this food terminal. Right. You have an airport. Right. Which could be your avenue to ship goods because we're islands. Right. We can ship it to Visayas, you can ship it to Mindanao, or vice versa. Right. And also, if we eventually acquire the skills to, have these commodities immediately packed, fresh, and can be shipped to... And maybe processed also. And we can have more exports rather than importing commodities. Now, when we met months ago, that was an interesting point that you're making, that the passenger targets for the airports are there, but there's an untapped opportunity, which was cargo. Could you, and this is, I suppose, playing into that plan of yours,
to also take advantage of that opportunity. But for those who understand the economics of airlines, right?
Yeah.
Why is cargo important there?
A plane's biology is that the top is for passengers.
Right.
And
there's a belly there.
Yeah, that's the
empty.
belly is for the cargo, not just for our luggages.
Yeah.
But also a big part of that are,
so if you don't fill that, you don't make money.
you don't make money.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we're just tapping on the top of the plane.
Right, right.
We don't have enough goods for the airlines to carry.
Right.
So if you look at in Metro Manila or in NAIA, I would say that the airlines are happy because they're not just ferrying
Passenger.
people, but also goods, cargo.
Right.
So that's our deal. That's what we want to serve. Help these airlines to be more competitive.
Right. And so this food terminal also plays into that, as you said.
Yes.
Right.
So that's the first project.
Right.
I've got 6 more projects to explain.
Okay. All right. We only have an hour, but go ahead.
So the second is the entertainment and events hub.
Okay.
What we're trying to do is to make Clark as a destination.
Okay.
It's not just because of we have a very nice airport.
Sure.
An airport that was awarded recently as one of the most beautiful in the world.
Yeah.
Was awarded by Prix Versailles. Now, we also want it to become one of the best in the world. And if we can have attractions and destinations
within Clark.
Within Clark.
Yeah.
And we have, like I said earlier, like I explained, we've got so much real estate.
Sure.
And in front of the new terminal building, we've got a rail station that is being built by the Department of Transportation coming from Manila.
Right.
And that is being built, and hopefully it gets finished by 2026 or 2027. The intention is for that to become a multimodal hub. And we also have plans to put up in the entertainment and events hub an international convention center.
I see.
An airport mall.
Just like Changi, huh? Okay.
Just like Changi.
Yeah.
And an indoor sports arena.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Which is one of your major projects before. So, okay, the food terminal, entertainment, what else is in the pipeline?
The entertainment and events hub becomes a destination for everyone, for Clark.
Okay.
So that we can have more people going there.
Right.
The third one is the Urban Renewal and Heritage Preservation Program.
That's an important one, yeah.
So what we want to do is to showcase ourselves not just a commercially viable place, but also a sustainable and livable place.
Okay.
We're going to have parks and open spaces. We're going to develop a river park. That river park is also going to be a venue for rainwater harvesting.
Yeah. So it's good that you don't want to overdevelop and commit the same mistakes in Metro Manila, right? You don't have any breathing spaces, green areas. You want to leave that for the environment and for the public, right?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. That's very, very correct.
Yeah.
We're going to develop and protect, the parks and open spaces because, we don't want them to be with buildings and structures eventually.
Right, right.
So we've got plans for them and going to implement them right away.
Okay.
And
what are the others? What are the other projects?
it's about, Clark has rich heritage because that is a former airbase.
Mm-hmm.
And
very historic, yeah.
Very, very historic. The Americans built that in 1903. So the anniversary of it's already the 120th anniversary of
the founding of Clark. Wow.
The founding of Clark.
Wow.
It's rich in history.
Yeah.
It's rich in culture. So we want to preserve those. There are still many buildings out there in areas where we could, show to the world and even the younger generations to remember what happened in the past so that it becomes a driver for us to inspire young people about the heroics of the people that put up their lives, sacrificed their lives for our for our freedom.
Sure.
So let's not forget that. So that's the 3 PPP projects.
Okay.
There's water innovation. There's the National Food Terminal project for food sustainability and security. The entertainment and events hub for creating destinations. And there are 4 infrastructure projects. The first one is that direct
The
link.
road, yeah.
Yeah. Our problem going to the airport is that it's kind of hard to get inside
Yeah.
the
You
airport.
don't have a direct exit or entrance to SETEX or TPLEX, right? So
Yeah. So what we're envisioning is to immediately build a direct connection from LX, SETEX
to the airport.
to the airport, the shortest route.
Fantastic.
So that people, every day get confused. There are about
Yeah.
about hundreds of people get confused going to the airport.
Yeah, for those who are not familiar, you either enter through South Clark or North, but you have to navigate the Clark development, right, before you get to the airport. What you're suggesting is a direct link, right?
Yeah, the agony of going to the airport if you take Clark South,
Yeah.
where you would see the medical city,
Right.
the Clark Medical City.
Right.
It takes you about 15 kilometers to get to the
To
airport.
the airport, yeah.
If you take Clark North, then it's like another 7 kilometers to get to the airport.
Right.
But from LX XCTX, you could see the airport
You could
right
see the
away. It's
airport
a
already.
huge,
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah.
terminal building.
Yeah.
But you don't get to the airport right away. It gets confusing.
Yeah.
So we have to build that direct access link.
Is that going to be a project of CIAC itself, or does another government agency have to take care of that, or is it like DPWH, or I don't know, but who's responsible for that?
Well, we're leading it. It's
Okay.
part of our vision. We're
Okay.
gonna drive the construction of that access link.
Okay.
But if it takes the DPWH to build that connection, we're going to be happy with that.
Okay.
We'll need the support of the BCDA,
Okay.
the Clark Development Corporation,
Okay.
the DPWH, and the Department of Transportation, because it also traverses, that link traverses along the alignments of the railway that goes to the Clark Airport from Manila.
Okay.
So we'll all need their support.
Right.
So, but we will drive this.
Right.
So whoever get this direct access link done, we're happy to work with them.
Is there a timetable in your mind when you want to have this done? Or?
Well, it takes about 6 months to design a new, at least 6 months,
Right.
to design that link, that new highway or road.
Are there any issues like rights of way or something like that?
Yeah, that's a good thing about it is there's no
none.
issues.
No issues
There are no
there.
issues of right of way.
So hopefully we can have that before the term of President Marcos ends.
Yes, I guess by my calculations, by my estimates, by 2026 it's already there.